Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that dial. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special guest. And I want to introduce this guest. He's been around a pretty long time. In fact, he's been around 88 years. Yeah, in fact, today's his birthday. And I want you to meet him. His name is Hank Cisco, and his real name is Frank Cisco. Okay, now, that's him when I got married to Dolores, okay, Di Giacomo, and I put that over there. And then later on, I was a police officer, and, you know, when I was a police officer, I was a sergeant, and I had a lot of fun in Norristown Police Department. I put 24 years in that police department, okay? Then I decided on going to college, and I got myself a degree at the Montgomery County Community College on police science. And then this was my last day on the police department. Last day in uniform. And I took that uniform off, and I never put it back on again. But ladies and gentlemen, I have one of my good friends, my good friend, Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier is a boxer, heavyweight champ of the world. And I refereed one of his earlier fights. And I stopped the fight. He beat the guy pretty, you know, and about, I think it was around the third or fourth round, and I stopped the fight. But he was knocking everybody out in the first and second round. Everybody says, I got all setups. And I said, look, this guy is powerful. He is the closest thing to Rocky Marciano, who when I was boxing in New York, he was the same manager. We had the same manager, Al Wheel, and Charlie Goldman was my trainer and manager. And Rocky Graziano and Joe Frazier were the same type of fighters in there, boom, boom, you know, no fancy stuff, just going in there and not giving the guy any room to move. And here is Joe Frazier and Dave Zinkoff, who was the announcer for the 76er World. He used to travel with the Harlem Globetrotters and great announcer for the 76ers. It's Joe Frazier and myself when I had a little bit more hair. And we were at the Valley Forge Army Hospital, and I would have the little boxers entertaining the little boxers, you know, at Valley Forge Army Hospital. And Joe Frazier would come along and help referee and also sign autographs. This is another fight here I refereed in Philadelphia. This is Jimmy Young, who fought Muhammad Ali and also Joe Frazier. This is after we did the little bit of a personal autograph signing with Joe Frazier. We shook hands, and you can see now that he's almost the same size as me, and I was about 5'8" and a half, and he was a heavyweight. He was fighting guys twice his size. Everybody towered over him, but he was able to get inside and pow, pow, work inside. And this shot here is that when we go in to visit the wounded soldiers to return from the war at the Valley Forge Army Hospital. That's when all the veterans went after when they get convalescing, and we would put the shows on for them. And here's another shot here of Dave Zinkoff and myself and Joe Frazier. And Joe Frazier passed away the other day, and like I said, he had cancer, and he fought. It was his last fight, and he didn't win it. But let me tell you, he fought some great fights. He fought the fight in Manila, and it was a filler from Manila. But he was a great guy, always able to make personal appearances. This is some of the fights, the little kids boxing that I would teach boxing, and we would go to Valley Forge Army Hospital and entertain the wounded veterans. And also, here's another shot where one guy's hitting the guy and the other guy's looking the other way. I don't know. I didn't teach him never to turn his head against an opponent, but that's the little guys. I was Norristown when I was a Norristown police officer, and we called the kid mittens, you know, and the kids learned something. I sometimes we had bullies. I don't know, now they treat bullies in a different way. But any kid that was a tough guy, thought he was tough and everything, would bring him down to the gym, and he put the gloves on. He wasn't so tough once he put the gloves on, and he had to fight fair. So these are some of the experiences I had as a police officer, boxing referee, boxer, whatever, referee and everything that goes with it. And now I got this show here. It's called the Hank Cisco Show. It goes worldwide, and next week I'm going to have a guest that has to do with diabetes. You know, I have diabetes, and a lot of people have diabetes. So I think it's very important that we talk about it, and we're going to have a guest here. And you know me, I'm tough on names, so I'm going to try to spell her Amy Margulies, Magulies, and she's with Achieving Better Control. So next week, tune in, and we're going to have some real good discussion. Let me tell you, doctors don't make visits anymore. They don't come in the house. So now we're going to come into your house and tell you how to take care of yourself. You know, it's a big thing today. And so, you know, today was elections. They had a lot of upsets. I don't want to talk about the upsets or who won, who lost, but I'll have some of the winners on my show in the near future. But Norristown is moving ahead. I want to talk about the theater. I want to talk about Norristown. I want to talk about the Columbus Monument. I want to talk about the Columbus celebration. I want to talk about things that interest people. And we'll be back, and I want to talk with John Doyle, who is a director of this show, and is a school teacher here at Norristown High School. He's also with the theater, the Center Theater, which has great shows. In fact, I interviewed the cast at the theater down on DeKalb Street, and there's renovations going on now. And going to have a whole new front with big signs. You think you're going to be on Broadway. And the cast was all about football. And let me tell you, a great cast. If you have an opportunity, go down to the Center Theater. There's shows there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, show starts at 8 o'clock. Sundays, matinees. And believe me, you're going to see guys. You're talking about a football team up in Pottsville, and where they, I don't know if you use the word invented, but the first forward pass was invented or put together up in there in Pottsville. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to come right back and interview and get some more information, okay? So keep bobbing and weaving, all right? Go get a drink of water and then come right back, okay? Good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my guest now, I have a real guest, okay? The other guy, Hank Cisco, he had to step out, but he's back here again. So my guest today is John Doyle. Let me tell you, this guy got more on the ball than half of the guys in Washington and on Broadway. And he is an a title is an artistic
director. That's right.
And you know what that means? That means you put a show on. You have to tell people what to say, what to move, what position you're in, the cameras, the light. There's so much to put a show on, believe me. And them shows go on at the Center Theater here in Norristown. Let me tell you, you can go to Philadelphia, you go to New York, and go in to see shows. You'll see good professional shows right here in Norristown, and take advantage of it, okay? So, and not only that, but they're renovating it and making it bigger so more people can come to see the show. Right now, we can only hold about 75 or 85 people or so. But now, here's a guy that's always in there like a fighter. He's bobbing and weaving and punching all the time. John Doyle has to do with music, has singing, talent, you know. So, John, thanks for coming on, and tell me what's going on down there.
We have a lot of stuff going on. You already talked earlier in the show, I think, about Maroons, which is running the month of November. which is about the Pottsville Maroons and the fact that the title was stolen from them. They won the NFL championship in 1925, and they had it taken away for some businessmen's reasons, some shady dealing. Yeah. The people in Pottsville are still pretty angry about it. And so there's a book been published by ESPN Books that Ray Saraceni, one of our actors who you interviewed, wrote play about, and we've been producing it. It's running the entire month of November. But in addition, we're planning to take it on tour up into Pottsville. So a little Norristown company, we're planning to go up there and perform for the people up there. We've had a pile of them come down to Norristown.
That's the coal region, right?
It is the coal region. And the play really deals with the fact that those folks in the coal region were struggling really hard to make their lives meet, their lives work, and that the coal miner relationship between the bosses of the mines and the miners is very similar to the relationship between the owners of the teams and the teams themselves. And so the play, although it talks a lot about football, also talks about how it's hard to be a worker, especially in that coal region.
There's a feeling to it, and not only that, but you have a local guy that wrote the story. And you're directing it, right?
Right. My partner Randy Wise and I direct the play together, and Ray Saraceni, who you've had on your show many times, but who's an actor with us. He's been at the Center Theater since we opened the doors in 1995. The first production we did, he was in the theater with us doing that first show, and he's still with us today. This is his second play he wrote. The first one is we're going to potentially produce in collaboration with a theater down in Philadelphia. So yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah, and when you talk about Pottsville, we're talking about the coal region. And when I was interviewing him, the one guy, that character, he was born in
Marcus Anders, who lives now down on Erie Street, I think.
He used to play in the mines when he was a kid.
Exactly.
Right? And when I was boxing in New York, I was in the dressing room. I mentioned it to him when I was interviewing him that I didn't. I was just a little guy from Norristown, and I could hear the guy in the next room. And he was talking to his manager. He said, "Who am I fighting?" The guy says, "A guy by the name of Hank Cisco." He said, "Where's he from?" He says, "Well, he's from Norristown, Pennsylvania." Oh my God, he's from the coal regions. Them guys are tough.
That's right.
So the coal region guy helped me beat this guy. I had the guy half beat before I went in the ring.
That's right.
And then I always tell a little joke when I said about Pottsville or whatever town. I says, "Boy, I'm telling you, Pottsville's a great. When you go to Pottsville, it's a great union town." I said, "Know how strong that union was? I went bowling one night. I got the ball. I threw it down the alley. I knocked all the pins down. I hollered, 'Strike!' and everybody walked out."
There you go.
Okay, it's a joke. Okay,
it's a good joke.
We'll
that's a good joke. And those guys, in fact, for much of the play, the characters, the union has gone on strike, and the play is really about that problem that those guys are going through. It's hard times for them. Yeah, absolutely. That joke was perfect, Hank. Without even knowing it, that was a perfect joke.
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, I was out of town, so I didn't see it, but I'm going to see the show this weekend.
That's great. That's good.
And I'm bringing some people with me.
That's
Ladies
great.
and gentlemen, it's a great show. And these fellas, that they all play their part. And, it's really great. I mean, there's 6 guys, 5 or 6.
There's 10 actors in the show.
10.
There are 6 members of the football team, the coach, and 5 players that appear on stage. The team, of course, was a normal-sized team for real, but we only have that many. And then there's some supplementary characters.
Right, and the helmets they used were like the original, like what they used years ago.
We went and found real helmets.
In front, and also the football was a big, I don't think, that guy could grab it one hand. I got a pretty big hand, but I'll tell you, I couldn't grab it.
No, it's a two-handed job.
And it was good leather. My father's a shoemaker. We all worked in the shoe shop, and let me tell you, that was strong leather.
Yeah.
Real original football and headgears and gear that you're using there.
It makes a difference to do that. Yeah, and we have it set on a football field, and what we ended up doing was deciding that we wanted to make the coal region more present. And so we went out and we bought almost a full ton of coal.
Wow.
And we surrounded the stage with coal, and we have coal along the sides of the space. Yeah. It was really funny. One of the reviewers who came said that there were little stones around the stage. And I was like, no, it's coal. I'm like, it's coal. It's real coal. Because coal has a smell. It fractures a certain way. It looks really interesting on the space.
Well, you tell that guy, I don't know how old that guy was, and they used to say, if you're not good, Santa Claus is going to put coal in your stocking.
Well, I have a lot of coal.
That guy hasn't been around too long.
Yeah, we could give some bad kids coal.
Stocking,
Yeah,
and I remember when I lived on Chestnut Street, and they used to come down with the coal, and they would shoot the coal down the cellar, and that was a big thing. All the kids would watch the coal sliding down into the cellar,
Yeah,
So
we loaded
came
it
from
up
the
on
coal
trucks,
region.
Hank. We loaded it up on my partner's truck, Randy's truck. We drove it in, and the actors all took turns loading up wheelbarrows and bringing it upstairs, and then I shuffled it around the space. And part of that was really good for them, because for them to work with the coal was great for their characters, because they're all coal miners, and so it was good to
Can I give you an
physically do
idea?
it. Sure.
Why don't we give everybody the last show or last
Give 'em
week?
all
We'll give
piece.
everybody a piece of coal to take home as a souvenir.
That sounds great. We could easily do that.
Okay,
and
you got enough coal there
we
all
have-
around.
There's coal everywhere in the space.
Yeah,
so
that would be something to think
great.
about. I'll
No,
look
that's
forward.
great.
So we'll have a piece of coal.
Everyone can take a dirty piece of coal home with them.
No,
That
it's
sounds great.
clean.
Oh well, you know what? It dries out. It starts to get dirty on the outside. You have to keep it a little damp.
No, we cook in the stove, a coal stove, and then what coal didn't burn, we just get to shake it and then put water, and then you see what it would be black, it'd be the stone,
right.
and we use it again with what didn't
I
burn.
believe that completely. Yeah, absolutely.
So I want a piece of coal when I go there.
I will happily give you a piece of coal. You can pick one up right off the set if you'd like.
Okay, what else you want to tell me about it?
The show itself is we're planning on hopefully touring up in Pottsville right now, working on the funding to do that. And the tour up in Pottsville, many of those folks have come down to Norristown, have been impressed by the theater, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Taking a 2-hour drive down to
Who's the mayor up there, I wonder?
I don't know the mayor's
Find
name.
out. Tell him that Ambassador of Norristown wants him to come down here. Send him a letter.
There's a guy who runs a place called the Maroon Sports Bar, and it's like a regular old sports bar and restaurant that is about the team, like they're dedicated to the team. He knows the mayor, so he's trying to actually
You
get
tell
the
him that
mayor.
Ambassador from Hank Cisco is
do
inviting him down. I want to be down. We sit there and we'll get a little publicity on
Good.
maybe,
That sounds
and if he
great.
can- maybe come down on the show.
Yeah, well, I think his intention will be to come down and watch a performance, and maybe we can.
Well,
get
let
him
me
in
know.
here.
So I'm going to
That
be
would
there when
great.
they go there.
Cool, I'll let you know that.
All right, what else we got?
So the other thing to note is that, we have two other big things happening at the center. The first is the renovations, right? So we have a massive amount of renovations going on. And
Yeah.
if people are driving
The
by
scaffolding
the theater
out
right
front.
now, there's scaffolding that's essentially 4 stories high out front of the building. And it's going to be moving around the building slowly over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And they're repainting and replacing all the windows in the building. That repainting and replacing is
Wait. Now, they got scaffolding from top to bottom. What's the scaffolding for?
so that the guys can be hanging out on the outside of the building, painting and replacing the windows.
Okay.
They're literally going to pull out all the old windows.
Then you have
and
what
replace them.
marquees they call
Well,
it.
that's coming next. So the first thing they have to do is replace these windows and paint them. That's just an upgrade that we wanted to do. It's going to make us more energy efficient so we can save some money. It's going to meet some of the historic codes that exist in Norristown to make the place just look more attractive for the downtown. And then
It's going to look
once
good,
that
especially
goes
coming
down,
in from Bridgeport.
that's going to be a big difference.
You're going to see it right there.
And then the next step is that when that scaffolding comes down, they're going to put up this marquee, this big regular
man.
old theater-style marquee. The marquee will cover the entire front of the building. The letters are 12 or 16 inches high. We'll be able to announce the shows. It says Center Theater. It's beautiful.
It's
We'll
going to
be
be
able to change
computerized?
show names. No, it's not computerized. We're going to put it up nice, big, old-fashioned block letters.
Oh.
One of the things we wanted to do was try and make the place look more of the time period. So
Okay.
all of that computerized stuff to us ended up becoming way too modern. So we want to make it part of what Norristown looks like, and Norristown has beautiful old architecture.
Right.
So we'll replace these little letters on the sign, and it says the Center Theater. It's in maroon, a nice deep maroon. And then there's going to be a blade sign that hangs off the front of the building that hangs almost the entire front of the building, that as you drive up DeKalb, you'll be able to see, and that will say the Center Theater in big 16-inch
Oh,
letters.
man, that's great.
It's going to be beautiful, and that'll be lit with a circle sort of lights around the outside that may or may not at this point move or dance around. And then we're lighting the inside transom windows.
Yeah. Good.
So we're going to...
I know Nick Belasco is his father's Dr. Belasco, my heart doctor, and he's over in Russia right now directing. We're going to have a concert. That's going to be one of the things we're going to have. We're going to have to take the local talent in there. So, hey, let's...
Hank, let me tell you one more thing we're doing, too, because I know the guys probably want to wrap up, but let's take another minute. There's another really exciting thing we've started at the center, and we're going to have one of these at the end of November, so it's a perfect time to talk about it. We had a group of high school kids last year in June who did a production here called An Evening with the Arts. Oh. And it was this great night of kids' artwork and music. And I watched it, and I said, these kids need to keep performing. They're really talented kids. And they're performing rock music, and they're performing rap. Like, they're performing their own kind of music, contemporary music. And so what we did is I talked with 3 of them.
Is it a choir or
well,
what?
no, it's individuals, a pilot
okay.
individual performers. And there's a girl named Makiba Robinson, a young lady who's performing, and a guy named Anthony Boy and Yesenia Bello. And these 3 kids came to me, and we decided to make a series at the center.
How about that?
And so almost once a month, we're producing an evening of rock music. Now, you may not want to go listen because
listen to it.
Yourself.
You know, I'm not.
But certainly, we're inviting lots of people out to see the show.
Yeah.
And we've had 120 people come to the performances. We packed the theater. We've had kids sitting on the floor. We did one in July. We did one in August. We're doing one on the 27th of November, and then one in January, and then again all next.
Well, I like music, but I don't like the music that say bop, 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 bop.
This
Come
may
on,
be a little
give me
bop,
some
bop, bop,
feel in
bop
there.
for
Bop,
you.
bop, bop.
Yeah,
And
this-
one good thing about these hearing aids, I can
Yeah.
turn you off.
That's exactly right.
Like that, right?
Well, and for you may want to do that at the shows, but for young people to come out and see
No,
this,
I want to see. Look, I want talent. Yesterday, I went to vote here at Norristown High School, or Eisenhower there on Markley Street, and they were selling cookies and cakes. I said, where's this money going? She says, for the high school choir or some kind of,
Right, okay.
what is it, a choir?
There's undoubtedly a choir here. that
Some
could use
kind of
money.
song
Sure.
group. I said, well, you sing? She says, yeah. I said, why don't you come on my show? She says, well, we'll have to talk about it. I says, okay.
Right. Well,
But I want to see that talent. I want to got sing and dance, whatever you can do.
Well, these kids are really fabulous, and the show they're doing on the 27th, they're doing on the first floor theater space in that little front room with a real small acoustic show. They've done these things. They've brought tons of people downtown Norristown who never would have come down before this to watch music. So not only are we doing
Right.
theater now, but we're starting the music venue, which is what
I
we're
like
looking
it. I like
to do.
music. Okay. All right. Now we're going to wrap up. But let me tell you, now we're going to go to Pat Mascara's office where he had a big luncheon right after the ceremony, Columbus Day ceremony at Elmwood Park at the monument. So we're interviewing some different people at Mascara's. So go get a drink of water and come right back. Okay? We got it.
Rock Cisco, my man.
I've known Hank for over 40 years now, and when I think back of all the things I learned from him, I was a pup when I met him in this business. I was a guy couple early 20s, and he's taught me all these years, and he continues to teach me yet today. I learned from
All the things you've done for Norristown and all the things you've done for Columbus Day and the Columbus Day Memorial in town, you know, everybody's gotten a chance to thank you. I wanted to thank you also for that.
I remember after World War II, Hank and I, we were trying to learn how to make luggage. But instead of making luggage, we'd jump over the fence and we'd hook it.
Bill said, thank you so much for your willingness to be involved, to keep things going. And
You know, but I've known Hank for many, many years, and we love him like everybody else does. And hopefully that he keeps going forever. And I'll try to hang in here with you too.
And I remember when I was a little girl, he used to line all of us kids up and make us sing Italian songs. And he's still doing it, only everyone has gotten a little long in the tooth.
Today, though, with the events we had, I think it's a way to celebrate Hank Cisco.
Yeah, for Columbus Day. Norristown. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Rita Bell.
Great guy.
She's Greek, but she loves the Italians.
Hank is a great guy. I want to congratulate you. He's the greatest man I've ever met.
Oh, no. We're here at the Columbus.
Thanks, Hank. Thanks for being my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me shake hands. Right. Thank you. All right. Hey, today's my birthday, 88. Doesn't it look like 88? 88. I was born November the 9th, 1923, on a Friday afternoon in Brooklyn, New York. My mother sent my father to go get some fish, and because she had an urge for fish, and she was waiting to have the little bambino. And my father had to walk. He didn't have a car, and he walked on 15, 20 blocks. And by the time he got back, my mother had me. And she said, you eat the fish. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy that I'm still around at 88 and being able to be with these young students here that keeps me going. And I just appreciate all what you
Happy
do.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hank.
Happy birthday to you. Okay, thank you. And I'm like,
Blow him out. Blow the pretzel.
hey, knock that one out there. Woo! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and for allowing us to come into your home. And may God bless each and every one of you, okay? Thank you.